So, I got a rhetorical question for you. How well are you doing financially? If you don't know the answer to that question, how long would it take you to find out? We're going to look at this by using this financial performance workbook. First, we're going to talk about some of the most common financial ratios, which will reveal important characteristics of your business. Then, I'm going to walk you through some of the custom features of this workbook and show you how you can use them within this spreadsheet, but also within your own spreadsheets. I'm going to walk you through how you can simulate various decisions and scenarios and how they will financially impact your business. As a full disclosure, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do love creating tools that can help people see and process information quickly. So as I mentioned previously, this workbook shows a list of popular ratios that are used across a wide variety of industries for determining the general financial health of a business. I've categorized them into 5 different types that look at the various short and long-term metrics of your business. First one being liquidity ratios. These are going to measure the financial health of your company within the current fiscal year. Next, we have solvency ratios. Solvency ratios are going to determine the long-term health of your business. Profitability ratios are going to measure your company's ability to generate income as well as a return on assets and equity. We have financial ratios. These are going to indicate how efficiently your business is using the resources that it has. And finally, we have repayment capacity. This is going to attempt to quantify your business's ability to bear current and long-term debts. One thing to note with ratios is that they're only going to look at a specific part of the business. It's going to be a challenge for you to know how your business is doing overall, as you got to look at all the metrics in general. I don't know if there's a good way to show specific overall business performance, but I have included benchmarks to help you see how you would stack up to general guidelines. It's not really intended to be a decision-making tool, although it can help you in this decision-making process, which is why I've included a way for you to change these benchmarks, and the conditional formatting of the spreadsheet will update automatically. These ratios are going to help you know what questions you should be asking. As you look at each benchmark in this example, you're going to see a description of the ratio as well as its formula, which is included in the middle column of the benchmark section. As you hover over the cell, it will display the description of that ratio as well as its formula. In addition to the ratios and benchmarks, I've included a list of strategies that you can use to improve your performance in each of the categories. So the spreadsheet is relatively dynamic. I created custom formulas in this workbook to help you in the process of entering the data required for each metric. For example, if you just need to quickly see what your current ratio is, you can just type equals current ratio. The formula will then ask you what your current assets and your current liabilities are, and then it will calculate what your current ratio is. You can type that into any cell and it will show you the answer. Couple questions here. First, are these formulas included in your version of Excel? Unfortunately, they are not. These are custom formulas that I created specifically for this workbook, but can you use these custom formulas in your own workbook? And the answer is yes, in a couple of ways. The first being that you can just copy a cell from this workbook and paste it into any cell, any place in your workbook, and then your workbook will have that custom formula for use at any time, any place, but only within that workbook. Another way you can do it is you can create a custom formula yourself by defining a name and then just use the lambda function, and then you can create your own custom formulas. The rest of the spreadsheet can show you details about your financials in general. Some of these include basic financial statements such as cash flow, income statement, and balance sheet. I've included a couple of financial planning tools such as an asset valuation and a liability assessment. The asset valuation is going to help you determine the value of the assets within your business. The liability assessment helps you see how much debt your business is servicing. The example that you're going to see in this spreadsheet is not a real business. They're just general numbers that I've put together for a general agricultural operation, just to kind of help you see how changes in financials can influence the overall performance of the business. All right, so we're going to look at this business real quick. So when you look at the dashboard, initially you can see that this business is in pretty good health. There's a couple areas where they might be in fair performance. We have one red that we can look at. If I want to see why that number is red, we can just hover over the note here, and it says it is used to measure as a percentage how much money the business spends to generate income. So if we have a bad number here, we either need to reduce our expenses or increase our value of production. So I'll show you how you can quickly change this number. We'll come over here to the ledger. Let's say we earn $500,000 more. Just approximate numbers. And when we come back to the financial performance template, you can see that our operating expense to revenue ratio is back at a healthy level. In the opposite way, let's say that our production went down by 25%. This is showing that because of that reduced income, we are not generating as much profit. We're not generating generating as much return on the assets that we've invested into the business. So you can see how that small change will make a really big difference in the performance of your business, which is what makes this really helpful, because you can come in here, you could run a scenario, and then you can quickly see what financial effect that's going to have on your business. If you're interested in a copy of this spreadsheet, you can click on the link in the description. I've taken quite a bit of time to organize this spreadsheet for ease of use, not only within this spreadsheet, but also the custom features of this spreadsheet you can also copy into your own spreadsheets and use wherever you want forever. Otherwise, you can just use the principles discussed in this video and build a financial tool for yourself. Most of the formulas I've used in here you can just look up online. They're very general formulas, and most likely they're being used by your financial institution to determine how well you are doing. You can also check out future videos where I'll go through the process of how I developed this spreadsheet and how it can be used as a tool for you. So thank you for sticking around, and we'll see you on the next one.